Welcome to the Slade Ham experiment. I'm glad you're here. You made it. We were waiting on you. We were. Can you not tell? I dimmed the lights and made tea and everything. It's a good thing you showed up. It'd just be me sitting in this chair talking to myself. A little blueberry, acai, whatever that other berry is that they put in everything. That's what's in my tea. I'm having a good week. I'm having a good weekend. All things are coming up Slade. We had a short film do well in Austin at a film festival. Got some personal stuff that's been pretty great. I'm also uncle to another kid. As of yesterday, I think. Everybody I know had a kid yesterday. My good friend Brian Carrion, BC, who did the music for Eyes on the Ground and has toured with me all over the world. Fantastic musician. Guy at the helm of Best Lesson Ever. He had another kid, his fifth. How many has he got now? I know some of them are twins. Everybody's having babies. He named his I forget what his kid's name was. It was cool. Remy, maybe. My brother had, my family has been littered with nieces for as long as I can remember. My brother had a nephew for me. I mean, he had a son, but it was a nephew for me. About 2 years ago, and it's been the coolest thing that's ever happened. I finally got a boy. My nieces are my world. The oldest three, might as well be my daughters. The other two nieces I've grown incredibly close to, but damn it, I'm a dude, and I needed a boy, and I got one. So the new kid is also a niece. The length of femininity that is run through my family in this generation continues. And they've chosen a name. And I don't need to get into my family's personal stuff. It's a great name. But it's made me, I've been tracking the search for the name, right? I've never been privy to the inside search for a human name. I've never thought about it, which is odd because I have a great name. So it's made me over the last little stretch here think about names and how we get them and some of the ones from history and some of, more importantly, the most confusing ones of today. But I've become fascinated by our naming process. Because I didn't consider how fortunate I was. I've talked about this with my mom now. But to be named Slade. It's my middle name, for those of you who don't know. But I shared my first name with my father. They were never going to call me by my first name. You could yell it out in a theater. I wouldn't turn around. You could scream, "Get out!" I wouldn't hear it. I just don't respond to it. But Slade is what I've carried with me my whole life. My mom has called me Slade since I was a child. That's what my parents called me. It became problematic in school when I had to go every year. I don't know if you've gone by a middle name before, but it's something you probably haven't thought about if you don't. If you just go by John, and John is your first name, when they call roll in school and they go, "John Smith," you go here and you move on. But for me, they call me out by my full name, and I have to raise my hand every class. "Hey, teacher lady, yeah, I know it says that, but I go by Slade." And then they'd write that down. And then the next 2 or 3 days, they would call me by my first name again because they'd forget, and then I'd have to correct them. And then by a week or two into school, every class had figured out that I was Slade. But it's because it's unusual. And there's where is I pulled this stat about names. This was offline. You may think your name is pretty rare, but whether you're a John or a Jocasta, a recent study finds that you will consistently rate your first name as rarer than others would rate it. Research shows 247 subjects, a list of 9 names, and their frequencies in the population. The subjects then rated how rare they thought their own names were on a scale of 1 to 100. The researchers then asked another group to rate the names of volunteers. It turns out that the subjects consistently rated their name as more rare than the estimated ratings done by the other group. The research also, this is what's important, the research also revealed that those with truly rare names tended to be happier with those names. And those who've never considered changing their name said it was because they thought theirs was too common. That's the main reason for changing your name, because it's too common. So I do think, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that names have power, that they, while they do not dictate our trajectory in life, they influence it. They have gravity. When they named me Slade, and my mom loved it. It has no meaning whatsoever. If you look it up, I think it means child of the valley in some ancient Gaelic something. My mom liked it. My mom said she was going to name me this. My grandmother, who I think was born in 1900, my favorite human on the planet, God rest her soul. My grandmother raced down the hallway as they were wheeling my mom back for delivery, and she said, if you can't name him Slade, she said, he'll grow up to be a merciless gunslinger. That's what my grandmother thought the name Slade had destined me to be. And I am grateful to my mother for a number of things in this world. She is an incredible human being, but the fact that she stood fast and named me Slade despite everything is what I'm most grateful for. Because Slade was never going to be an accountant. Slade was not going to settle for something common. God, no. When you think, and I don't know that it's a good thing or not, right? If you got a kid and you're thinking about doing this, it's the uniqueness you feel about your stature in life, how unique you feel, has some correlation to the name, I think. I think it does, because you have one data point that you are a rare creature. It doesn't matter that a name really doesn't mean anything, but it is something cool attached to you in permanence. You can't tell me that's not influential. Now, we know the weird names that have been out there, right? We know all the common ones. The Zappa dude, didn't he name his kid Moon Unit and Dweezil? Or was that his brother? The Zappas have had some odd names in their family. Elon, and who's Elon married to? Is it the singer? Grimes? Elon and Grimes have 2 kids that I think go by X and Y, despite their names being equations. X, AE, A minus XII. They use that AE that I don't know where it really comes from, Greek or Tool albums. You know the weird A. It's not a real letter. Nobody knows how to pronounce it. AE. It's made me look up a lot of different naming conventions, right? We know Beyonce and Jay-Z have Blue Ivy, and Kanye and Kim have Northwest. Did you know Robert Rodriguez, a lot of celebrities name their kids really jacked up stuff. A lot of countries try to defend these children. It's an interesting thing. I remember Robert Rodriguez named one of his kids Rocket, and that made me look up all the rest of his kids' names, which Racer, Rebel, Rogue, Rhiannon. Come on, Robert. You know how parents, my mom always used to mess me and my brother's names up. She'd try to get to my little brother's name, but she'd always start with Slade, Hunter. Like, you know what I mean? She had to run through them all. What if they're all ours? Rocket, Racer, Rebel, Raccoon, whatever. Raccoon. You should name a kid raccoon. I heard stories. My mom taught school, and while they were never her class children, the stories of kids named things like there were the twins named Orangelo and Lamangelo, but they were spelled orange jello and lemon jello. And, urban myth, you don't know if those things are real. There's a story of the girl named Shathead, but it was spelled shithead. None of those probably have any truth to them, I thought. Because some countries protect their citizens. Did you know? Listen to this. In Denmark, they protect children from having odd names. Parents in Denmark can only choose from 7,000 pre-approved names for children. That's across both genders or all 100 genders. I don't know. You just got 7,000 names to pick from. That's why they're all named Hans or whatever. What is a Denmarkian name? A Danish name. Denmarkian. What is wrong with me? In Iceland, a name has to pass a few tests. It must only contain letters in the Icelandic alphabet. I don't know what their alphabet is. And it must fit grammatically within the language. Well, I'm I'm glad we don't have that rule because grammar here. Other considerations include whether it will embarrass the child in the future, how considerate, and how well it is aligned with Icelandic traditions. Interesting. Is it not? Who else has rules in their country? China. Did you know this? Most new babies in China are now basically required to be named based on the ability of computer scanners to read those names on national identification cards. That's the only rule. Can we track you? Okay. Name it. Send it on out into the communist populace. New Zealand, I think, has worked the hardest. So I say that. This is a list of approved names. In New Zealand, they have approved the names Benson and Hedges for twins, the name Midnight Chardonnay, the name Violence, and the name Number 16 Bus Shelter. Yet, they don't say why they rejected these names. Stallion. I can name my kid Number 16 Bus Shelter, but Stallion's off the table? Okay. Insecure judge. They vetoed Yeah, Detroit. Why would you name your kid Yeah, Detroit? That's probably a lost bet. They okayed the names Fish and Chips, Keenan Got Lucy, Sex Fruit. Come here, Sex Fruit. Satan. Fair enough. And Adolf Hitler. You would think that would be off the table in every language. I'm certain you can't name someone that in Germany. Yet. In 2012, 4 children in New Jersey taken away from their home. Parental rights severed. Why would this be? Well, the case came to light when the couple sued a bakery. Why? Well, because the bakery refused to make the cake they requested. Why do you ask? Were they gay? Was the bakery fundamentally against this for religious reasons? No. Couple's quite straight. They have 4 children. The child in question, they were requesting a birthday cake that said, "Happy birthday, Adolf Hitler." During the course of the investigation, the family court learned there was some domestic violence in the family, but also they had named their children. Not just Adolf Hitler, young Adolf, celebrating, I'm sure, a happy 4th, but Jocelyn Aryan Nation, Hanslin Heinler, and Hans Campbell. I don't know enough about Nazi history to know how offensive Hans Campbell probably is, but I'm hoping he's changed his name too. Good God. Another reason why I don't have children. I don't think I could make it through this process. These are some of my favorites. We all know that Michael named his kid Blanket. Kid goes by BG now, just to be clear. But did you know that his brother, Jermaine, not to be outdone, oh my God, he named his kid Your Majesty. Your Majesty. Yes, Your Honor, my son's name is Your Majesty. He would like to approach the court. Your name is Your Majesty. You are certainly going to go to jail at some point in your life for overestimating your position in a situation. On the U.S. Social Security Administration's list of baby names in 2017, there were no less than 6 boys named Slayer. Yeah. Very influential of you, Kerry King. Definitely metal fans, I'm certain. Not people who wish their children would kill other people. Although, as we get to Scotland, the Scots are some weird folk. They drink a lot. They're luscious. They don't really know what they're doing half the time. Perhaps that's how we can forgive this. A child in Scotland in 2018 was named Lucifer. I guess that's not off the table, right? It's a real name. Sure, that one guy messed it up a little. But Lucifer, you're pushing your child into a scary life. There are names that are sometimes traditional that you don't think are odd, right? Take, for instance, the name Shanda. Shanda. Easy enough. It's actually a pretty common girl's name. So common, in fact, that the founder of the Learjet company, Bill Lear, named his third daughter Shanda. Chandelier. Woo! You should be in jail, Bill. Actress Shannon Sossamon, best known for her role in A Knight's Tale, which means she hadn't acted in 20 years. But boy, she's making the list for this. She named her son Audio Science. I never made the argument that actresses were intelligent people. They're reading other people's words for the most part. But according to her, we wanted a word, not a name. So me and my boyfriend read through the dictionary 3 or 4 times. God, you sound like insufferable people. You and your boyfriend have a baby on the way. So rather you read the dictionary together 3 or 4 times. We were going to call him Science, but thought it might get shortened to Sci. Like Simon. So you went ahead and threw the audio on there, Shannon, just to make sure. In case someone mercifully accidentally finds a way to mercy kill this name and make it Science. And make it Sci instead of Science. We'll just call him something almost normal. Hey, Sci. That could make too much sense. That's not going to give him enough trauma. Let's call him Audio Science and let the teachers sort it out. Fuck you, Shannon. There's original names and then there's whatever that is. Nicolas Cage and his wife pulled from what I don't think is a bad source to find a name in. They went to the world of comic books. My brother entertained the name Bruce for a son. Another one that's on the way. It's an unborn child, so there's still just one. But this nephew almost got Bruce, and it wasn't going to be from Bruce Wayne, but it could have been. It was going to be from Bruce Lee. But I say that comic books are a good place to pull them from. If you're doing it though, pull a decent sounding name. Don't Don't name your kid after Superman, Nick, in the role you didn't get. Did you name him Kal-El? I want to know when he named his son Kal-El. They named their kid Kal-El, Kal-El. Superman's actual Kryptonian name. Nick Cage was slated to play Superman and didn't get the role after all. And I wonder if that kid was named before or after that fortunate turn of events, because he would have been bad. This is the name of Chef Jamie Oliver's brood. He's married to a lady named Jules. I don't know who she is. She probably writes kids' books. One of their kids is named Buddy Bear. You poor child abused child. I could have just said abused child. Buddy Bear. Hey, Buddy Bear. Walk into traffic, buddy. Listen, you have it better than your family, I guess. Jamie and Jules, Jamie, you have a normal name, albeit a woman's name. You have a normal name. Jules spells her funky, so maybe she's the cause of all this. But you're sending Buddy Bear out into the streets alongside Poppy Honey, Daisy Boo Pamela, Petal Blossom Rainbow, and River Rocket Blue Dallas. What is wrong with you people? These children have to live with this. This is why these other countries block you from making such stupid moves. You can't call your kid Buddy Bear, Daisy Boo. You can't do that. You can do that, but you can't do it without thinking that they're not going to be massively screwed up in their life. Listen to a little Johnny Cash. You know what I mean? Ask Sue how his life was. I mean, even me, and I'm big on my name. I wouldn't trade Slade for anything in the world. And not just because it was unique at a certain time. It really has never become ununique. I've literally met maybe 2 Slades in my whole life. So it's not like it ever had a cycle where all these boys were named, you know what I mean? Like Daenerys or something else named off of Game of Thrones or some other TV show. I don't think there are enough Darths. Darth. Give a kid a cool Darth name and then a middle name. That's pretty trippy. And then your last name better not suck. I've been called all the things with the long A in them. And I just respond to them. I don't care. If you get the long A right and start it kind of with an S, we'll be all right. Slate. That one comes up a lot. Suede has happened. My favorite time, I was in San Antonio. I remember this so vividly. I was in San Antonio. I was staying at Holiday Inn. I was playing the Improv there. And when I got to the front desk, they had like my little welcome packet with my key and my stuff, and it had my name on it. And they give me everything, and they slide across the table, and my name was written on the front of the key card, except it said Ham Slave. Transposed the order, screwed up the name, and I'd never really considered how badly my name could be absolutely butchered until someone called me Ham Slave, and then I had to live with that visual for the rest of the day. What does that even mean, Ham Slave? And why don't I go get the website? Hamslave.com. All right. Make this an early week. I've run through all the names. I'm excited that I have a new niece. Beautiful, beautiful Heidi Ham. I'm very happy to have you in the world. To any of my other nieces, I love you too. I know you probably sneak on here and watch this, and you're all my favorites. Everybody's got cool names. If you got a cool one, flaunt it. If you don't, go change it. You can do whatever you want to. Don't change it to Hitler. That is illegal, I think, in most of the places. Sladeham.com for all things me. Check out my schedule. I am getting increasingly on the road starting in April. Lots of overseas stuff. I come back. I just booked Canada in July, so I'll be back in the Great White North for 2 weeks in Ottawa and Toronto. I've got Louisville, Dallas, Colorado Springs, Kerrville, Texas, all coming up in May and June. So check out the schedule. Sign up for the mailing list if you want to. Hit the little like and subscribe button. If you, I gotta say it, so you'll do it. See you on another episode back here in the Midnight Spaceship for the Slade Ham Experiment.